Welcome back to our whiskey tour of the world. I'm Gail.
Kyle.
And today is number 5. This one, we are going all the way to Ireland.
An Irish whiskey.
It is an Irish whiskey. This one is made by the Ballykeefe Distillery, and they are located about 2 hours south of Dublin, in a place called Kilkenny.
Okay.
So things about Irish whiskey. Usually it's triple distilled. That's pot distillation. They're usually very clean, very smooth. They have a lot of like honey and like sweetness to them because of the triple distillation. I had a problem talking today.
I like this kind of whiskey.
Well, let's see if you like this one. Things that are unique about this particular one is that they are doing like a grain to glass in Ireland. And although it's not truly unique across the world, it is not the typical way to run a distillery. Is that they own the farm, they grow the grain, they malt it themselves, they distill it themselves, they have the warehouses themselves. Everything is theirs. And that's a very old traditional style way of doing things.
No. Did you smell it?
No.
Okay. I get like green apple, which I think is a little interesting.
Fun. Okay. It does. Yeah, I get that. Green apple, 100%. It's very like light and fruity. It definitely smells kind of like an apple tart.
It does. I'm thinking in my mind one of those suckers because it has the caramel flavor smell too. It smells like a Jolly Rancher.
No, it doesn't actually.
Okay, cheers.
Cheers. Well, it doesn't taste like a Jolly Rancher.
It does not.
But it does carry over that like apple-y, like baked goods flavor into the palate.
Where does it hit? Where does it burn on your tongue?
The sides.
Okay, I get the tip, like the very tip.
Interesting. I don't get that. Is it a bad burn?
No, but it's more of a burn than the previous one had.
I really quite like this.
I think it's complex.
Yeah, I do. I think that I don't know if I've ever truly had an Irish whiskey that has had these aromas and flavors. I will say that one of the things about the way that they do their whole process here is that it's probably a lot easier for them to kind of control the consistency of it because they're growing all of their own product. So if it doesn't grow well 1 year, they're not going to make whiskey, right? So like they have the ability to maintain a consistent product across years, right?
Yeah, when you were reading the information about the company before, you said how many liters they were producing at the beginning?
Yeah, that was the last one. This one doesn't have any of that information.
Okay. But it's still tiny size?
Yeah, I mean, it's not a massive, it's a family farm. They say it's owned by, one particular family, which has an unbroken line for farming in the area that they decided to make it. It is eco-friendly. They do have zero off-farm waste. They reuse the stuff that they get rid of in the distillation process. They feed it to the animals. They get their happy, drunk cows, from the fermented grains. But I mean, it's kind of unique in the world to find a place that really does this and does it well. What do you think about it in a Glencairn glass?
Great. What barrels were they using again?
It says bourbon oak barrels.
Okay.
Now, the other thing that they mention in here is that this area is warm, which I feel like that should be taken with a grain of salt, because we'll say that it's like warm in Minnesota.
More salt.
And Ireland is not the warmest of places. But this is inland, and it's in the southern part of Ireland, so it probably does get a little bit more warm than other areas. So they say that their bourbon barrels are only housed for a couple of years because the flavors develop quickly.
Interesting.
So on the nose, gentle notes of toasted oak, citrus, coconut, revolving into an apple sponge.
So
There's your apple. That's
My
correct.
apple sponge must be the dessert.
Yeah. The palate, first malt and fruit dominate with mango and hint of ripe banana. Toffee apple fades to creme brulee. I totally get that.
Yeah.
The finish is long with notes of apple custard and hints of cloves. I feel like there's this line through all of it where that apple comes in. And that is very pronounced on the nose.
It's solidly green apple too.
Yeah, like tart
Yes.
green apple. Well, it could be Macintosh.
I don't know.
You don't think? You think it's Granny Smith?
I think Granny Smith, and it bites like a Granny Smith.
I don't know if it's just the power of marketing and suggestion, but the Combine is a green apple color.
Oh my gosh, that's funny. I was looking at the label, and the label itself kind of looks like something I would see like an Amish farmer with, or maybe somebody in Kentucky that doesn't have a combine that wants to distill his products from grain.
Yeah. It does have like that old school, like turn of the century look, like it was done on letterpress. This distillery was only open in 2017. So although the practices are long in tradition, they have not been around for more than 8 years, 6 years, 7 years. God, I wish I could do math on the fly, but I just cannot.
Yes, everyone's laughing at you.
They haven't even been around 10 years yet.
We'll
go with that
good
one.
Coverage.
So
pull out the phone calculator to go 17 to 14.
You know what?
2024.
I make no excuses. I just know that I'm not good at math on the fly.
Yeah,
So don't ever ask me to do it.
it's not old at all.
No.
Because they have to age it for. I know you said it doesn't age very long because of their temperature, but they still have to age it.
So, fun fact about Irish whiskey is that the only age statement that you have to put on is the one that you want to put on.
Oh.
But most of them do somewhere between 2 to 3 years before they release it. But you can hold it for as long as you want and then put the age statement on the label. So it's not a requirement, much like Scotland has a requirement that it has to be 3 years. Ireland, it's just not as much. It's not a requirement of calling it an Irish whiskey. Welcome. Are you going to here to make your debut? Oh no, you were here earlier, weren't you?
Not in, well, the other day.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, that's all we have today, folks. We'll see you later.